Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so I'm going to show you a video for two different kinds of ways to do a stress analysis. And first one is based on if you did your bridge as a single part file with all of these separate solids, and if you made yours with an assembly. So I'm going to show you the two different ways to do this. If you did it in an assembly, what you want to do is you want to start at the beginning and work your way backwards, and you're going to delete everything except for I accidentally deleted the string. So let's do, I don't want to delete string, crossbeam, end bars, wood truss, and then I'm just going to start there. And so see how what I'm left with is this, and I should be able to, I don't want to cut these off. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go up here, and this is what I'm going to get rid of on this side, because I don't want to use both of these. Alright? And let's see here. I deleted this other side here. So let's do this. Let's see if I can do this instead, because I deleted these bars over here. And I want to get back to where it looks like this. And I'm going to isolate it back so this is what it looks like in the end. Okay? You can do that in the assembly if you want to. But what we'll do is after we've got this, we can then, I'm going to go to simplify and create simplified part. We're going to make sure that it is a part assembly, and you can do this so they're separate bodies. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go here to, you can do this two different ways. I'm going to do it this way so you can see what it looks like. It'll show up like this, and each one of these things are now all solids. And then I can create a sketch here, and I'm going to extrude this and cut all of this off, just like this. So what I'm left with looks a little bit like this. Okay, each one of these things should be all one part. Okay? The last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come in and I'm going to clean up all of this stuff. So I'm going to start a sketch on, I'm going to start a sketch here. I'm going to draw from here all the way to here to here to here, and then I'm going to do the same thing like this. I missed the mark there. I'll fix that. Okay, and then I'll come up here and, oh, it fixed. Good. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to extrude this part, and I'm going to go to here, and I'm going to hit add. So now it looks like this. Okay? So now this I can test pretty easily. Okay? I can now, down here at the bottom, I'm going to create now this time you are going to create new solids. So I'm going to put a piece here that's going to be 0.25. So it'll be 0.25 by 0.25. 0.25 by 0.25, and then these ones I'm going to extrude, and I'm going to make these separate solids. Okay? Then I'm going to do the exact same thing on the top. Oh, actually, I don't need to, since this is a solid shape. So I can use this later. So this is now ready if you created yours as an assembly. Okay? Now, I'm going to go back to my bridge here as if I created all of this. Okay? If you did it as an assembly, you can ignore what I'm about to do here. So I'm going to take this, and I'm going to first go to Save As, and I'm going to save this as, let's see, is this my bridge? Yeah, bridge design. I'm going to do bridge. I don't want it in STL. I want it in IPT. Where is it? Enter IPT. Huh. Let's go to Save As, not Save Copy As. There we go. And we'll save this bridge 2023 for stress. Okay. So now I'm going to go up to where the heck is it? Manage. And so up here at the top it says combine. Okay, it's under modify here, and we're going to say combine. We're going to select, for our solids, we're going to select, oops, this one. I'm going to leave the text off, and I'm going to leave that separate solid, and we're going to make it an object, and boop, it turns all of this into one part. And if in the end, if this messes up, you can always go back and do it the exact same way that you did. Yeah, I did for this. But I think this turns out really cool. So now we're going to start, and we're going to create a sketch. Since when I want to select my force, I can't select just one of these faces. So I'm going to start up here, and I'm going to create a rectangle, boop, all the way from this corner to this corner over here. I missed my mark, so we'll put it back there. And then I'm going to extrude this as a separate solid. New solid. It doesn't really matter what size you make it, but I'll do 0.25 because it's about what the other ones are. I like to make this solid now clear, because that way I can see through it. But now I can select an entire face to do my force. I'm going to do the same thing under here, and just like I did before. Go from here to here, go from here to here, and we'll extrude this and this. And it doesn't matter what you extrude it. I can make it bigger just to make it easier to see. And we'll make this a separate solid. This color, I don't really care. But what we're going to do is on both of these. Okay, so now we're all prepped and ready to go. So our first thing we're going to do on this one and this one is we're going to go up to manage. Oops, sorry, not manage. Generic first. And we're going to go down, and it has some issues with wood, so we're going to stick with ABS plastic. Okay, so everything is now ABS plastic. That's okay. It's a similar density to balsa wood. We'll do the same thing here, and we'll go down. Oops, right up here. It's ABS plastic. Okay, this is going to set the materials for when we go to test our bridges. So I'm going to do it with this one, and then you can, if you want, you can follow along with this. It's exactly the same. We're going to go up to Environments, Stress Analysis, and the very first thing we're going to do is we're going to click on Create Study. Okay, we're going to go down. all the way to the bottom. I'm not going to make any changes to this because this is actually pretty complicated, and unless you know what you're doing, you can mess it up and it doesn't give you any decent information. So what we're going to do now is we're going to come down. We need constraints and loads. The materials should be already set up. If you see, it shouldn't give you some errors. It should say original plastic, and that's good to go. If you didn't, you can always redefine, and you can override the material to whatever you want. Coming across, okay, I'm going to start with fixed. I'm going to do a fixed spot here and a fixed spot here, and then I'm going to hit OK, and that sets these two as basically the fixed spot. This would be, if you want to think about the bridge, this is like one end of the bridge and the other end of the bridge. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to force. I'm going to pick location, boop, right here, and you're going to put in the force that you had. So let's say 50, okay? Maybe that's what you had, or I'll do it obscure, 55. And I'm going to hit OK. And then we're going to go up to, you can change the stress analysis settings if you want to. You can mess around with this however you want to, if you want to play with this after you already run your thing. So I'm going to go to simulate, and I'm going to go to run. Okay, and what it's going to do is it should give you an error at the bottom, and it'll say something like loose bodies, or I can't remember what it says, separates into 15 independent components. That is the text because it's floating in space. Okay, so when we're done, this is what we should have. It's going to give us a deformation. It's going to give us a force, so this has the most force on it. And what's happening is, since it deformed, it also deformed these strings, even though technically they should be under tension and be straight, but that's okay. But we can go to first principle, and it gives you a little bit more. See how there's more force. The most force is right here. And you actually see, if you go to the third displacement, you also have a lot of force along in here. And you see how this deformed like this? That's because this is in tension and it's being stretched. These are being smushed because they're in compression, and these are being stretched also because they're in tension. So if you look at this in a different way, what's happening is most of you either had it fail here or fail right here, or this piece just popped out because it was under so much stress. So I know it shows a little bit of the opposite of what's going, and that's because it's measuring what was deformed. So this was deformed. Our bridges were not deformed. So if we take away, if we take undeformed, it kind of shows you a little bit better. There's a lot of force here, a lot of force here, and then this string got, for my design, got the most force. So you see, like, as it moves in, it has less force in here and more out on the outsides. And almost all of yours broke here, or this piece popped out. So what I want you to do is, after you have this, I want you to take a picture of this and put it next to your bridge, a picture of your bridge. Maybe even after it exploded, you could take like a screenshot from your video or something to show that that's where it broke, and so that this is simulating where it should have broken. Okay?